Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go run and hide. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All the liars tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to all the liars tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our home world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our home world. All the liars try to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our home.
Touchscreen and loud in the different lanes. Few birds in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night.
Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats round and engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racer staring through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm.
Turn the wheel through the breakneck roll. Sun races down through the thunder soul.
And welcome to Nerd TV for another Global Racing League Truck Series race, live from the simulated Chicagoland Speedway. Welcome back to the NASCAR schedule on the 2026 calendar. You have been missed, and we are looking forward to you next year. As we get the countdown to green started, presented by Icon Apparel Company. We'll go over the weather real quick, go over the driver count. Points will be very important to talk about as well. And here is what, 67 degrees in the skies, 81 on the surface, 73% humidity. That's pretty high there for a Chicago evening. Partly cloudy, decent amount of winds, up to 10-mile-an-hour gusts. So that should be a little bit of a fun factor for all these drivers here this evening. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty. Dustin Logston, pressing the buttons, doing 1,000 jobs plus one extra this weekend. Button things up here for 2026 as well. What's up, dude?
Taking a breather. Gonna sit here and watch a good race at a track that I have missed so freaking much. Sad that it was taken off the schedule. Super happy that it's back on the schedule. So should be a good one, especially with the trucks, man. I've been a lot of the stuff I've been doing to try to button up the Nerd TV stuff for the upcoming 2026 broadcast schedule. I've had to join in a lot of official sessions, man, and the racing has been it's been really good. Close racing. It's it's Chicagoland, baby. I'm just happy to be back.
The middle groove is here. The high lane will be working, especially. I think it performs so much better off of turn 2 personally, but turn 4 you will see it up there quite a bit, up in that third lane. If they all start at the bottom, though, that will build up the rubber, then maybe it'll shift that outside lane maybe out of the picture. So it all depends on where they go early will determine if they're going to go up to the top or not, because marbles do play a factor in how these trucks drive. And we're kicking over to qualifying, it looks like now, as we just finished up practice. And so we'll get our cameras off your screens for a short hi and goodbye. We're going to ride on board with some of these drivers going around for qualifying, but a couple of mentions here to start this thing off, Dustin. You brought it up to my attention, and for the third time, we had three Peters All right, but for the third time, we're not going to have that fourth Pete. The 99 Austin McGill not here. Not here. 99 not showing up. So anyone's game. Fired this thing off.
Yeah, and we made mention this 4-race win in a row. This 4-peat is almost as elusive as that 8th championship in motorsports. We talked about Petty, Johnson, Earnhardt, Hamilton. That number 8 is just so elusive. Well, that elusive 4-peat seems to be just as tough to get, and McGill in line to do it, not in attendance tonight. So for the third time this season alone, Jeremy, like you said, we will not see that 4-peat. First time in global history that we've had 3 drivers hit that mark and hit that chance, and all 3 of them come up short.
And realistically, season 1 and season 2, they had 1 driver in each season to do that. And then here we're sitting at season 7, 5 seasons later, and we have 3 of them in 1 season. That's kind of insane. So, but that run has come over and gone away from us. We do have 4 races left. Could we see it? Could we see maybe a 4th attempt? I don't know. Clean slate. Anyone can try to do that. We know the 34 is really fast. Don Blazer's been putting up some good times recently. Stephen Hayes always a threat. So we'll just have to see how this particular track plays over. Points, by the way. You got 4 races left, and the top 5 are kind of in that picture. Top 6 are starting to, seep away from them a little bit. So Michael Thorpe Jr. is your points leader. He's got a 15-point lead over Bobby Mantle. And then EJ Luna sitting pretty comfortable, 25 points out in P3, 26 points out Jonathan Gaston, which only driver still to make every single race this season. Dustin Franklin, they're 33 points out in P5. I feel like that's who you're going to be looking out for. Everybody else is 43 points out or more. The driver count's been kind of low, Dustin. So, especially tonight, we're at 12 drivers. If you're 40 points out, you basically need the top guy to finish last, and you need to win every single race to make something happen. So, I'm going to say top 5 and everybody else probably eliminated at this point.
Yeah, it's down to a numbers game at this point in time, and unfortunately enough, the numbers just are not on the sides for those that are 40+ points out of the championship lead right now. But you made mention of Jonathan Gaston. Now, you want to talk about dedication and why this driver is in the standings and running solid where he's at in P4 and has made every single race. This man had out of town this past week, and in order to sit here and ensure that he made certain league races, I don't know if it was this one here, but it was in the drivers meeting, and I got to give a shout out, man, because this is dedication. Took his laptop and wheel to hook it up in the hotel room to ensure that he was able to catch a race to maintain point standings. So you want to talk about dedication when it comes to sim racers? There you have it.
It's wild stuff, man. It's I wouldn't do that, even if I love the league. But that man just dedication. I guess that is the word to describe that. We're down to 45 seconds left in the session. Looks like all but 3 drivers have posted time. So the only 3 have not is Stephen Hayes, Abram Ghostin, and Chuck Cobb. They're not on track. That means qualifying is basically over. Bobby Mantle, driver the number 89, will be seeing the green flag first this evening, as he's going to have his pole set for him at Chicago. 18 seconds left. We got 150 laps here this evening. And remember, it's open setups, 3 green-white checkered attempts. They got no fasties. And there's your whole setup right there. Open setup, 100% fuel load. That's important to note. With 150 laps, 4 sets of tires. You got 3 in the pits, 1 on the truck. Caution count, Dustin. It's always usually pretty low at Global, but now with the lack of drivers, we're basically at that point where we're gonna be seeing. I'm gonna say we're gonna see 2 more times where we go green to checkered with no caution. So the tires are, it's kind of a crucial thing right now.
And it really is. It's something that they made mention in the drivers' meeting, actually. Because as broadcasters, we like to listen in on the drivers' meeting because if there's anything pertinent that we can bring to any of the viewers, we like to at least let you guys know what's happening. And that was something that the admin stated. They're like, it's they were kind of bummed because of the lower truck count, but they said with it being Chicagoland, a lower truck count, it's the possibility of zero cautions should be increased. So, I mean, even the admins and drivers are even on the same mindset.
100% here as we got our trucks gridded on the front stretch of Chicago. So here we go. Starting lineup for race number 7 of 10 for the Global Racing League playoffs. Bobby Mantle and Danny White going to start front row. Second row, third place, Jonathan Gaston, EJ Luna. Row 3, Dustin Franklin, Michael Thorpe Jr. with one of his poor performances in the playoffs and qualifying. Row 4, Don Blazier, David Holsey. Row 5, Jeffrey Weimer, Stephen Hayes. And this row 6, the last row of the day. Abram Ghostin, Chuck Cobb. And that's your 12 in. 12 set in foot. To go ahead and take the green flag here. Michael Thorpe Sr. always joining us on the YouTube chats. Appreciate you. It's showtime on the home track. So, Dustin, this might be, this is your NASCAR-ish home track. And I guess this is also Michael Thorpe Jr.'s.
Absolutely. I mean, it's with where I live in what is known as the Quad Cities, just outside of Moline, Illinois, right on the Iowa-Illinois border, right on the Mississippi. I technically have 2 home tracks. You can count it as 3.
Okay.
But I have Chicagoland, I have Iowa Speedway in Iowa, and then you can go further south, and I've got Worldwide Tech as well. If you really want to stretch it, you can say Indianapolis, but that's like 8 hours away. But those 3, those are like the home-ish tracks that I have. But I've typically only claimed Chicagoland and Iowa as home tracks.
You can also claim the Chicago Street Course if you want
No,
to do
sir.
it that way.
No,
Give
sir.
it the 4-peat, brother.
No, sir.
Here we go. Green flag is in the air. Bobby Mantle with a decent start over Danny White here, P2 in that Chrome 64. Head off into turn 1, turn 2, exiting backstretch. Michael Thorpe gets close to Gaston on corner exit. 64 looking for the crossover. Side by side for the race lead. Danny White drives it in deep. Clears the 89. Outside is his if he wants it. Here's Michael Thorpe Jr. with a great run on the outside.
Yeah, great run. Little contact there between the 34 and 89. 3 wide on the front stretch. Danny White, good power move to get out front early. EJ Luna on the move as well. Took P2, but not for long as the 34, Michael Thorpe Jr., does a slide job in front of the 24 to take over P2. So now you got Danny White, Thorpe Jr., and Luna are your top 3, Jeremy.
You can tell Michael Thorpe Jr. had just a bad qualifying effort. It goes from 6th to 2nd just like that on the first 2 laps to open up this thing here. Lap 3 now underway. Danny White is your second leader in this event. Basically count that your only leader because your pole sitter did not take the line P1. So Danny White's leading them all this time. Bobby Mantle still struggling on the inside. Outside seems to be the fast way early on.
Yeah, good battling right here between Mantle, Gaston, and Holsey. Holsey in that 76. They're looking to go side by side here. We got good battle further in the back as well. 3 wide there across that front stretch. Now, this track is wide enough for 3 wide, especially on that front curve there with the apron. But you got to be careful in that transition. Sometimes it can upset these trucks, but these drivers doing good. New race leaders at 34, Michael Thorpe Jr. passes the 64, Danny White on lap 3.
Yeah, to the front in a hurry, and this might be the story of the blue spoilers yet again in the playoffs. Early on, showing the speed. Who's got the long run set up to challenge Michael Thorpe Jr.? As you see the 76, David Holes, he's underneath EJ Luna looking for P3 himself. Up from 8th, almost into 3rd, so up 5 positions for the 76.
Yeah, Holsey on a move early on. But again, you got to be careful with tires. You want to try to conserve. You want to try to stretch. Remember, 100% fuel load, so these trucks can go quite a distance on a tank of fuel. But that third place, again, up for battle. Holsey just took it. EJ Luna saying, nah, this ain't over yet. Crossover to the inside. Now trying to battle. But Jeremy, like you said, that high side momentum run off the corner is what is saving a lot of these drivers as Holsey maintains P3.
Great drive so far early for the 76 here. You see gassing up top with 89 Bobby Mantle. They're battling for P4 and 5. Cross the line to complete lap number 6. Onwards to lap 7 of scheduled 150 laps. We're going to jump in quick here. I think we got a moment. We're going to go turn up the tubes. Listen to these trucks real quick going around Chicago. We'll be right back. Back here, full screen here on lap 14. I've scheduled 150 laps. So it looks like actually lap 13. We were just doing turn up the twos. I had to step away for a second, and Dustin caught this live on camera. Look at the slide job here from the 64. Danny White, 2 contacts with David Olsey. Saves it, but they lose a ton of spots.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was slideways and sideways. It was 3-4 wide there. Everybody checked up. It was a fantastic job by drivers to get caught back up and check up for everything that was happening. But just diving it into that corner, Jeremy, you come into these corners so fast that you don't realize the closing rate a lot of times on the driver in front of you, and just ever so slight contact. And it does not take much here at Chicagoland to get these trucks out of sorts. And it was way out of sorts for Danny White, but excellent job holding on to it.
That was a fantastic. That was what, 35-degree slide ways, and didn't use the apron. He got really low. And
that was at least 45. That was probably right at that 45 mark.
Dustin's 2026 overlay is going to include ESPN-style AI live telemetry on angles on the field.
You wish.
We need these numbers stat. Big mover, by the way, Stephen Hayes. He took full advantage of that contact situation. He's up 6 spots from 10th to 4th in the driver of the 13, Whataburger Chevrolet, as he completes his lap 15. Onward to lap 16, riding nose to tail with the 24, Mr. E.J. Luna, who holds the podium top 3 spot at this time.
Yeah, he is your biggest mover, being Stephen Hayes, up 6 spots. The only other driver that is close to that is your race leader right now, Michael Thorpe Jr., up 5 spots from where he started. And then the next one is actually Chuck Cobb, up 4 spots, as he just eked out over Holsey there to take that position. Every other driver is either lost spots or only up 1. The 2 drivers up 1 spot are your second and third place trucks, actually, Jeremy. Jonathan Gaston, EJ Luna. And talk about trying to cap on points as much as possible. Solid run for driver 72 there, Jonathan Gaston.
Yeah, absolutely. Did great getting up through the field. And he's been fast. He's been one of the faster guys recently. Up in this field, top 5 consistently in qualifying, the racing. It seems to be, he floats right on that spot, being pretty competitive overall. To see him early on, second place, and only a half a second off of Michael Thorpe Jr. You can't say that it's just because of the lack of numbers in the field. No, he is keeping up with one of the best of Global Racing League this year. Only a half a second, 18 laps in. He's got speed. He's using the second groove at this track, leads off of turn 3 and 4. You see drivers go up to the first or third. That second lane is kind of 50-50, but he's using it to his full advantage, and it's working great.
Yeah, whatever's working, keep going. Definitely a good, solid run for Gaston in that 72. But he's got some trucks that are trying to track him down right now. That's going to be Luna in the 24 and Stephen Hayes in the 13. They've been trying to trek forward ever so slowly. And then Danny White, good rebound from that near miss and slide where he was able to save it, bounce back up into the top 5 right now. He's trying to track down 4th place Hayes and 3rd place Luna.
Trying to get back to it after a near wreck about 6 or 7 laps prior. Backstretch here on lap number 20. Instead of the countdown that the field, the 100% fuel load, it's going to be important with 150 laps. I feel like they're going to break this thing right into thirds, 50, 50, 50. If I had to guess, there's no way these guys are going 75 plus laps at a mile and a half track. So I would say they're going to be a 50, 50, 50, unless the tire wear is a thing, right? Danny White's tires, they're probably cooked after that slide, but he's still running pretty good times as we're on the spoiler camera for a moment of the 13, Stephen Hayes. So I just, that'd be what my guess is, Dustin. 50, 50, 50 on the pit road lap.
Yeah, and I'm like you. I don't think it's going to be due to fuel. I think they're going to be good. It's going to be these drivers, and more so their trucks are going to be screaming for fresh simulated Goodyear sneakers on these things, because this track can chew the tires up depending on how aggressive you tackle this track. And depending on what lines you run, that's going to be the key. But we have seen drivers stretch it out, and pit strategy does play a factor in this at times. We have seen drivers stretch it out and cut it a pit stop short and make it to the end, and it's actually benefited them with some solid finishes and a couple of victories as well.
So Danny White, I've been watching this 64 truck. He's got some speed, but man, is he loose. He's been loose for the past 3 laps. Really loose off the exit of turn 2. Let's see what he does here in 3 and 4. He's only on lap 23, Dustin. If he's going to try to go 50 laps, that's another 27 before he can find his pit crew. I don't think he's going to make it to where that thing's handling. He's going to have to put some brake bias up to the front. He's going to have to tap the brake in the corner to get that thing not sideways. He shifts up to the 3rd lane, almost into the 4th lane that time, as the 72 and a couple others have found that 4th lane grip. They're finally utilizing it as these tires wear out.
Yeah, and one thing that is hindering the 64 is that slide and amazing save that he did has also heated the tires up and taken some wear off of them. So He's definitely battling something that some of the other drivers haven't. I have seen the 72 of Gaston. He's gotten free just a couple times as well. Probably a reason why he has, again, adjusted his race line more so to that third lane, flirting with that fourth as well. Typically, the more wheel you put into it to keep it locked down to the bottom, usually the worse off it is if you're fighting a loose condition. You see the 13 there get a little wobbly there through the exit of turn 4 as well.
Quite a few drivers seem to be on the loose side of things here, as EJ Luna is one of the few trucks that goes to the bottom. Your race leader, Michael Thorpe Jr., also utilizing the first and second lanes. It just seems like if your truck's uncomfortable, you move up, you find a little extra comfort in that lane. The 64, Danny White, he found some speed on exit turn 2, crosses over the 24, looking to clear, almost gets it done. Corner exit. EJ's going to have the nose just on the right rear corner panel to complete their lap 26. That position goes to the 64 momentarily. He should take it here in turn 1 and 2, depending on how EJ Luna runs the top lane for I think the first or second time. And oh, Danny White way too loose.
Oh yeah, he had to roll out of it a little bit. Thing got loose on him. He had to chase it a little bit, and all that momentum he had on EJ Luna was just gone, and he is loose, Jeremy. You can tell on that truck he is not comfortable right now, and the more that he's under steering and in the throttle, the worse off it gets for him.
Everyone's caught Michael Thorpe Jr., the race leader. They are all stacking up right behind him. Michael Thorpe's got to change his racing line, I think, as EJ, Gaston, Stephen Hayes all on the attack as he runs the bottom. You see Gaston does a great entry into threes. You got a little on board from Danny White in the 64. Looking at the top three, just having a great battle, or the top four rather, having a great battle here. Front straightaway, all on top of one another. There's the camera angle. Look at them. 2 to the top, 2 on the bottom. Going to be 2 by 2. Oh, Gaston loose. Contact of 13 saves it. Man, what a good job.
Yeah, and then the run the 13 of Stephen Hayes got on that crossover there puts the nose on the inside. Excellent save by Gaston. Had to get out of it there, recollect it. Battle for the race lead right now. First time Thorpe Jr. is going to lead this lap, Jeremy, but I am not so sure about the next one side by side as they dive it off into one.
Stephen Hayes using all the side draft, man, running them up the track there. 24, Luna maybe gives a bump to the 34. Center of the corner, gets the 34. Michael Thorpe, actually a great launch off of turn 2. Clear Stephen Hayes. Now EJ Luna's going to try to take that door opportunity, keep it open, make it pass through on the outside. Here we go. Does he go to the top of the 34 at the same token? I don't think he's got enough this time, but he does get the pass completed over the 13 of Stephen Hayes. We're 30 laps into this thing, Dustin. It looks like they just dropped the green flag.
Oh, yeah, these guys cross over by the 24. They're laying it out there. Drag race down, a little bit of contact, trying to slow up with the side draft. Side by side into 3. Luna on the inside, Thorpe Jr. on the outside. Where did Danny White come from? We just seen him 2 laps ago get wicked loose, and now he's up in P3 right behind Thorpe Jr. Thorpe Jr. going to lead this lap as well, so no lead change officially as these drivers are fighting it out, Jeremy. But I tell you what, man, like you said, it is almost like we just dropped the green flag, but we actually dropped it 31 laps ago.
You got the term comers and goers, and then they come and they go again. They're just cycling through. Danny White is one of those guys, and you can tell Michael Thorpe is not comfortable in that outside lane, but he has to do it for the defensive position to keep his race lead. He knows his truck's too slow on the bottom alone, so he goes to the top. You can tell he's a little unstable. He's trying to get used up, but he's doing a good job on exit to keep that position momentarily. Look at the 64 White. He's going to cross over 34 loose off of turn 2. That's his troublesome corner exit right there. Single file momentarily going off into turn 3 on lap 33. Everybody knows the tail on the top. And 64 a little loose again. We might be 3 wide off of turn 4.
Oh, just barely 3 wide for a split second. Luna pulls back in behind Stephen Hayes. Now Stephen Hayes, Danny White side by side. Stephen Hayes going to try his chance. Again, Danny White got a little loose there going through 3 and 4. It was just enough to slow him up. Little wobble. Oh, contact. Oh, hard into the wall is Danny White. He keeps it going, though. No caution.
Staying green flag, the 64, the first one to fall to an incident on the track. After that, just amazing battle there between lap 27 and lap 33 as we're looking at the 3 wide here on the Nerd TV replay. They barely clear Luna. Now it's 64 and 13. This contact happens off a turn 2 exit. Side by side, turn 1. This is where the Dane's going to get a great run. Just a little loose, and overcorrects right there. Hits the wall, comes down the track into the 13, and bunk. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, and then right back up into the wall. Hard right front contact between the truck and the wall there, but maintains it, keeps it going straight. But man, I mean, excellent run there. Like you said, just a little wobble out of it, and that's all she wrote. And it doesn't take much to overcorrect these trucks, Jeremy. You try to put wheel into it to counter steer it, to try to, turn out of the slide. And it's like a 50-50. Sometimes it'll come out of the slide nice and easy, and then you can, let off on your counter steer. But there's other times where it's not nice and easy. It's an instant snap before you can even react.
It truly is. And now Stephen Hayes, the next contender on Who Wants to Take My Lead, as he is looking at the back bumper of the 34, Michael Thorpe Jr. Just turn 2 seems to be Michael's troublesome spot still. They get the run. They just can't go to the bottom because they know Michael's got a good solid turn 4 exit. Steven's going to try to get the truck loose. All over the back bumper. 34 cuts down, breaks away just a little bit. Now Steven's going to go to the inside. Full commitment here into turn number 1. Door to door, nose to tail. 13 gets tight, wicked tight, has to lift a lot, Dustin, and he gives up multiple tenths of a second. 24, EJ Luna to the bottom, now crosses over, puts in P2.
Yeah, Luna now going to clear the 13. Hayes going to try to take chase after the 34. Like you said, though, the 34, turn 2 is his troublesome spot, but he is so strong running that defensive line through 3 and 4 that these drivers are struggling, trying to find a way to get around him right now, and that is his saving grace. As long as he can maintain that, he is good. As a 74, Dustin Franklin getting loose, wicked loose there off of turn 2.
Good save there by the 74. Opens the door for Bobby Mansell to maybe take a stab at position number 4 on the track as they're going to complete the 39th lap of this 150-lap event. The 74 gets loose again off of 4. Side by side goes him and the 89. Let's see who wins this battle off of turn 2. 74 is probably in the preferred lane if he can keep the grip and those tires underneath him correctly. He does so, clears the 89 just like that. Single file once more for these guys on the backstretch.
Yeah, and Franklin was wicked loose right about at the apex of 1 and 2, all the way through the exit of turn 2. And that seems like that's the troublesome corner, Jeremy, for a lot of drivers. It's not just the 34 that is struggling with speed or keeping the tires underneath them out of turn 2. Almost every other driver has had some type of incident or near incident coming out of turn 2.
Lap 41 here. A little bit of a gap still between the 13 and the 34. EJ Luna more comfortable in that lane 1 and lane 2. Going to try once more to run the 13 that way, but Steven with a good exit off of 4. Brings them all single file once more, heading off into turn number 1 here. Lap 42 is underway. If they stick to the 50-50-50, pit stops then would be available in the next 8 laps or so. Oh, the 13 bounced off the wall a little bit.
And right at turn 2, we just talked about it, Jeremy. Turn 2 is a struggle point for drivers right now. But these three putting on one hell of a race right now. Thorpe Jr. holding off all challengers up to this point, maintaining that top spot. But the spot that is up for grabs and bids more than anything is that second position right now. And right now, it's between the 24 of Luna, 13 of Hayes. And this has happened before, Jeremy. And we talked to Thorpe Jr. about it in a situation very similar when it comes to these mile-and-a-half tracks. And every time that a driver seems like they are going to have that run, setting up for that crossover to try to set up for that commitment going into the corner that's running P2, next thing you know, third place starts challenging them, and that run is gone, making a driver in Thorpe Jr.'s position a lot easier to maintain that spot.
And this is why we have Chicagoland back on the schedule next year in the real-life NASCAR circuit and not the street course. This track is very good at multiple lane
Thank God.
surfaces. It is oval racing at its finest. It just, the location is crap and the turnout can be crap at times. That's why they cycled out of it. It was requested to come back. The fans have to show back up, and if they do, then we'll get this every single year. If not, they're going to start searching again. So let's hope that happens, that we get the turnout and everything, because this racing is awesome. 13-24, back to the 34, by the way, here. 3 truck for the race lead. Oh, they're going to try to go split in the 34 here as he runs the middle.
Yeah, he's going to run that middle line. EJ Luna, though, coming down pit road, so he is going to take the short pit, Jeremy. If you're going to split this 3 ways, I mean, fuel-wise, they're probably pretty good, but that means that he's either going to have to stretch that second run or that final run out. If he's going to short pit, that's still going to leave Stephen Hayes and Michael Thorpe Jr. in your first and second position. Bobby Mantle did get by the 74 of Dustin Franklin, is now in third position, and Jeremy, he's tracking.
Oh, we got pit stop 13. Stephen Hayes on pit road. Going to give up his second place in the field here. So there we go. Pit stops opening up a little earlier than I expected. Lap 47 is the first in. As we got Stephen Hayes, Dustin Franklin, Chuck Cobb. Those 3 guys are on pit road. Danny White is as well, but he's getting damaged.
Thorpe Jr. coming this time.
There. Thorpe Jr. coming in, so just shy of lap 50, Dustin. Do we see a third pit stop then?
At this rate, I'm saying you're going to see a third pit stop unless these drivers are going to stretch out their second stint or third stint a few extra laps. It's about the only way that you're going to be able to do it, but that means that's going to be longer times that you're going to be on those tires in either one of those stints. So, again, this is what makes racing interesting. It's not just about going around in circles. Not at all. It's also about strategy. It's also about knowing when to give it gas, when not, when to save, when to burn it. Is the 89 of Bobby Mantle coming in, along with Don Blazer and Abram Ghostin.
Road is busy here to start off. There's just the first couple laps, 46 to 48, and I think that's there. Yeah, that's it. So after this round of pit stops on that 48 to 49, we're done. So everybody in and out in 3 laps in total. Let's see, no penalties so far to report on. Looks like Mantle's in nice and clean. We'll see how everything cycles through at that moment in time, as we should see the cycling back of Michael Thorpe possibly here. He's on the battle with the 76, not for position though, but we'll see when we get back to the line who's got what positions and who's the loser, who's the winner.
Right now it's showing the 72. Jonathan Gaston is your race leader. He is now up front over Stephen Hayes. So it's you want to talk about short pit, and Gaston took an early pit stop on that, which is what put him out in front with where he's at right now. That was 8 laps ago, Jeremy, compared to Stephen Hayes's 2 laps ago. So he's got 6 extra laps of racing on that set of simulated Goodyear sneakers. But it has also put him in an excellent position right now, as he's got a good lead over the 13 of Stephen Hayes.
He must know that they can't make it 50 laps. And so if there's going to be a third pit stop, he probably knows to shortcut it just a little bit. Wasn't willing to stretch the field, Dustin, to get that 2 pit stops and done. So he knows 3 is on the way, 2 more to have at it. The guys that came in lap 47, 48, they might be able to stretch it like you said. So we're going to take our time here. We're going to go picture-in-picture commercial break because our green flag pit stops have cycled through. These guys are spaced out a little bit, so this is a great time to thank a partner or two. We will be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Lap 62 underway. We're back full screen here for the Global Racing League Truck Series race at the simulated Chicagoland Speedway, race number 7 of 10 of the playoffs. And after the round of pit stops here, Dustin, we're seeing a lot less action on the track right now, but we see the 13 Stephen Hayes, who got around the 72 of Gaston pretty simply because that 7 to 8 lap difference on pit road time. And now everybody else is slowly catching the 13. EJ Luna second, big winner out of that pit stop sequence as he's able to outdo the 34 Michael Thorpe. Bobby Mantle 2.5 back. It looks like he slipped up a little bit on his green flag pit stop.
Yeah, and we've talked about it. Pit stops can make or break a race depending on how smooth or not smooth the driver happens to get on there. But, I mean, really, the short pit, big mover was Jonathan Gaston on that one there. I mean, he was up front, led a number of laps up there. So, especially if you have to do 3 stops, not a bad call. You just want to make sure that you don't fall off at the end of that last stint coming to the checkered flag. But Stephen Hayes, EJ Luna, big time gains on that one there. Remember, they were struggling to try to get around the 34 of Michael Thorpe Jr. and ended up battling amongst themselves more than anything else. But through virtue of the pit stops, they find themselves out front now. Michael Thorpe Jr. is now P3, as that is your top 3 as they run right now, Jeremy. And it's in the back of everybody's mind right now. They want to have a good, solid run tonight, good points run tonight, because, Jeremy, next week we go to my favorite track, and it's definitely a wild card, especially in any playoff situation, Talladega, where anything can happen. You could win, or you could be loading up and eating a hot dog, drinking an adult beverage, watching the race from the infield.
And I would love to see the league numbers show up one more time at Talladega. I want to see a 20-car field show up for that place. I'm sure we can get close to it. It's always one of the most exciting places on anyone's schedule.
Can we call them out?
Regular schedule.
I mean, we did it with Mike Hayes, right? I'm like you.
Sparked that and it worked.
I'm like you. Every driver that has partaken in Global that is an active driver right now, get off your arses and get out to Talladega. Let's pump the numbers up for one of the final 3 races of the season. It's a track that you need absolutely zero practice at, because that's why a lot of drivers love running there. But let's get the numbers up. Let's spice things up a little bit for these championship drivers and actually have more actual drivers out there, so that, guess what, they can gain or lose a lot of points there.
Dustin's saying no practice. Have you entered pit road without practice? It's that's fun. But
Oh, it always is. I love doing it at that track.
yeah, just pull down and know where your brake marker is, and hopefully you know your brake bias when you get in there, and hopefully you don't lock it up and wreck it. It's very easy to do. You have all the track in the world, but somehow it's still very easy to wreck yourself on pit road. And you can blame speed, but there's also speed here. You're exiting these corners here at, what, 150? Let's do that. Let's take a look here at the raceepi.com. Race telemetry has run EJ Luna. As we get some text through our throttle bar.
That's what I'm trying to get rid of that.
There
They
we
got
go.
certain things in there. I'm trying to pick a different driver.
All right, I mean, 2026 is going to have an even better overlay. This is already a fantastic overlay, but we're going to have even better next year with a bunch of fancy tools. But there we go. You're seeing, let's look at the speeds here. This is,
1 and 2.
25 laps on a set of tires. And they're exiting the corner almost at 170. So only about 10 more mile-an-hour difference is between here and Talladega. Maybe 25 if you're in a big pack. So it's really not that much difference. But somehow they can do it here easily. They can't do it at Talladega without practice.
Yeah, well, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Pit road here is difficult. Any mile-and-a-half pit road is difficult. I mean, when you're coming down from speeds like this, and you have to be down to 50 mile an hour on pit road in order to not get penalized. And it's not an easy transition because, again, this has that nice progressive banking that goes down. And when you go down to that apron, it offsets these trucks big time. And they tend to get a little squirrely, which doesn't add up very well and work out in the best interest of the driver when they get squirrely like that and they're under braking as you're trying to slow down. So it's not an easy feat by any call.
No, it's not. It's really not. And that's okay. So we're gonna call them out anyways. No practice. Just show up at Talladega. Let's see a big field. Let's have some fun. One last little hoorah before we get down to the final couple races on the regular schedule, not super speedway related or anything. And we'll just do it. Lap 72. We're 3 laps shy of the halfway mark of our 150 lap event here at the simulated Chicagoland Speedway. Stephen Hayes still up front, surprisingly, has kind of locked EJ Luna and Michael Thorpe Jr. behind him at 1 second and 1.5 seconds is where they've kind of been the past 5-ish laps or so. Stephen Hayes pit on that 46, EJ Luna 45, and Michael Thorpe 47, so they're all in that 2-lap window. And Hayes has got a great setup underneath him tonight to keep his tires in check, and his teammate too, Lone Star 1-2 right now, which we haven't seen that in quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, we had been talking about the blue spoilers quite a bit. And there's only one blue spoiler in attendance tonight. That's your third place runner, Michael Thorpe Jr. But Lone Star showing up here in the Windy City, if you want to call it that, because it's not actually in Chicago. It's actually just outside Joliet, Illinois. But it's got the Chicago in the name, so we'll call it the Windy City. But definitely showing up and showing out right now is Lone Star.
I mean, I would say it disqualifies for the Windy City part, but I also saw on the pre-race show presented by Icon Apparel Company that we had some of the more stronger wind gusts all season long, about 9 mile an hour to start this session. And I think we're kind of still the same at this time. So there you go. I'll allow that one for you, Dustin. And there's your weather right there. We don't usually display that too often mid-race, but looking at still 9 mile an hour, 68 degrees, 81, so it really hasn't changed much. Stronger winds, though.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, it's close proximity to Chicago, so maybe the Windy City vibes are traveling out here. But we're working lap 76 right now, Jeremy. We are at the halfway point officially, 75 in the books at the halfway point. Stephen Hayes still leading. EJ Luna still second. Michael Thorpe Jr. still third, and they've been distanced about that much. Bobby Mantle is in P4, but he's got a lot of ground to make up here. And Jeremy, if we sit here and take note of when these drivers started pitting, that was at lap 46. It was technically lap 45 completed in the books. That means here in about 14 laps or so, we could expect to start seeing a majority of them coming in. Gaston will probably be one of the first ones because he pitted 6 laps prior to everybody else, but we're looking at around lap 90, 91. These drivers are probably going to be coming back down for their next stop.
And they might be able to get a couple extra laps out of it just because they're not racing each other as hard as they were on the first stint. So there's a little bit of that, a little tire saving in comparison. But yeah, all in all, you're probably going to see what Dustin just said is right around that same time frame. And look at the trucks behind the 13, Dustin. They're still creeping up. EJ Luna's found some speed. He's only 7/10 back. Michael Thorpe kind of stationary still at the 1.5, 1.4. They're trying everything they can. High side, low side, middle, everything in between. Stephen A is still holding on.
Still holding on. Thorpe Sr. in the chat. Jeremy says Joliet's 35 minutes away from the city, so it's still windy.
All right. What city disqualifies Windy City? If Juliet is in, who is out? Who's the next
Joliet. Joliet, not Juliet. It's not Romeo. And we're not Shakespeare.
Juliet.
You said Juliet, my man.
I do like the OU pronunciation, like Juliet. It's okay. Hey, we're doing things, but what's the very next city outside of Joliet that
About the
is
next
it 40 minutes? Is it 45?
Well, the next closest one would probably be Rockford at about 45 to the west of Chicago. And I don't think it gets too gusty there in comparison to how they say Chicago gets, but that'd probably be the next biggest city in relative location to Chi-Town.
Do they have a reason why they call it the Windy? Like how is it windier there than any other place? They're not up against the water or anything, so.
I don't. In all honesty, I mean, I was born and raised in Illinois. I have no idea where it got its nickname. I'm sure that we probably have some fact checkers out there that are gonna key us in on how Chicago got the name Windy City. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. So that's a fun little thing. I'm sure Steve Rada is probably just sitting back there waiting for his moment to shine. And gonna hit us with a fact check randomly. He's done that. It wouldn't be the first time he just randomly popped up after a name drop halfway through a race, but
Nor the last.
absolutely. Let's see if he's live here. On the YouTubes, watching Global Racing League on lap 83 of schedule 115. Pit windows should be opening up very soon, according to Dustin's calculator. And if we learned anything, Jonathan Gaston tried the short pit. It failed miserably. So I guess you got to run that thing a little bit longer to stay competitive.
Yeah, and in all actuality, Jeremy, it's pitting has started already. That's why a lot of these drivers are a lap down. When we were in our Chicago Windy City conversation, that right now you're 4 drivers. You only got 4 drivers on the lead lap. Obviously, your leader, Stephen Hayes, EJ Luna, Michael Thorpe, and Don Blazier are the 4 drivers currently on the lead lap that still need to pit. And yes, Senior, I forgot about Gurney. Gurney is also 45 minutes out from Chicago. It's out by 6 Flags. So Gurney's another one. It's very relative distance from Chicago is what Rockford is.
There you go. See, he's giving us our own fact checks here. As I actually missed it somehow. You showcased him on the broadcast of Jeff Weimer. Made a mistake on pit road entrance, got set back over a lap because of that entrance mess up, and he is disconnected from the session. So the 73 DNF here tonight. So it's going to leave 9 trucks on the track here this evening. We got a little 2x2 here, 24, 34, do battle for second place. Michael Thorpe took a lot of time to get here, but he's finally back into second, but not so long. Here comes the 24. It's going to throw it in deep into the bottom of 3. He's going to try to get this thing to stick on exit. Slides up, takes it, 34 back to the bottom.
Yes, crossover move, and this is why I love tracks like this. I know a lot of people, they dog the cookie cutters, but it gives me a lot of dirt vibes when we come here because you see that slider line ran, the 34 slides up. And you seen the 24 do it the last set of corners out of turn 4, and then the crossover by Thorpe Jr. Again, dirt vibes. I love it. Very fun to watch. Somebody who's not having fun with Stephen Hayes is I was talking about that the slider line and crossover moves that we see numerous times at these cookie cutter tracks. Scraped the outside wall going through 3 and 4 there on the last lap. So. Again, running way up there in that 4th lane, hovering between that 3rd and 4th lane, Jeremy, trying to stretch this out, working lap 88 of scheduled 150, and he's got Thorpe Jr. and EJ Luna. They are tracking, and they are chasing him down, and that'd be why Stephen Hayes down pit road, EJ Luna following suit.
Yep, and these are the last.
Oh, we got to watch Stephen Hayes. We're going to back that up. Did he clip that cone? Oh, he took that cone out hardcore.
Oh, no.
Boof. We're going to have to watch him. Is he going to have a pit road violation penalty?
These are the last 3 drivers to make a pit stop. And don't tell me he's going to be held. No.
Thorpe Jr. in.
Not held is 13.
Ooh, he lucked out so much on that one because that cone was ate up by the front nose of that Whataburger car. Kind of funny that instead of the Whataburger being eaten up, it was the Whataburger truck eating up the cone. But Thorpe Jr., last one to hit pit road. Service of his virtual pit crew. This should cycle Bobby Mantle in the 89 to the race lead if he can get around and pass the 34 of Thorpe Jr. before pit exit.
We'll find out. He's in and out of that box. I thought the 13 was going to be down for the count too. For that clear as day, ran over that cone. It somehow escaped the iRacing coding from maybe because they haven't updated this track in so long. They didn't have the time to update the ins and outs of this place like they do in the current track. So good break there for the driver of the 13. As now we're going to watch these results tabs. Where do they file in? Where do they not? It looks like Thorpe 1 lap back on that pit sequence is about, 2.5 seconds, I'm going to guess, roughly, at the line this time. It's going to be, just 2 seconds between Stephen Hayes and Michael Thorpe. EJ Luna falls behind Thorpe, though, even on that pit stop. By quite some bit, too, by 7 seconds. Huge miss by the 24.
Yeah, and he came in with Stephen Hayes, so They both came in at the same time. There wasn't much separation on there, so definitely some miscues on pit road for the 24 there. And now cost him a little bit here, especially with no cautions to fall back on. You have to gain that time up on the track. Thorpe Jr. back in 6th, and out of your top 3 runners, Stephen Hayes still sitting in P3 right now, but number of drivers are in front of your top 3. Well, technically second and third. Abram Ghostin, Dustin Franklin, you seen he was right behind Stephen Hayes, just got passed by Hayes. Jonathan Gaston in the 72, and Bobby Mantle. So a lot of work to be had on the track for these last 3 drivers, your top 3, prior to the completion of green flag pit stops.
A little battle here between these two. Inside for the race lead momentarily after this wide variety of sequence of pit stops, especially from these two, shortcutting it a lot. And they're going to have some fun here. Jonathan Gaston momentarily back to the race lead in the driver of the 72, who's got 2.3 seconds away from Stephen Hayes, who's going to be coming through here pretty quickly, I would say, as they get close to the lap 100 mark.
Yeah, and you see all the drivers right there in the same frame. So as we were focusing on Stephen Hayes, you've seen both Gaston and Mantle in the same frame, and then Dustin Franklin right behind Stephen Hayes as well. And then back in the distance was Michael Thorpe that was coming in the picture. So there's Gaston and Mantle right there. There's Franklin, and there's Thorpe.
It's all about 10 to 15 truck length separation between each one of these guys for the first few spots. Oh, the 74 looks like he bounces off the wall a little bit off of turn 2. Comes down a quarter of the way down the back straightaway after the reaction of the contact. This truck looks like it's okay at the moment. It looks pretty clean from this angle, so I think he's going to be A-okay, but there's a very hungry Michael Thorpe. Needs to get the speed going if he wants to keep the blue spoilers in victory lane, because right now Lone Star's got that number dialed in right now, at least with Stephen Hayes, as AJ Luna continues to try to play recovery. Side by side, 34, 74, and this will go to Michael Thorpe.
Yeah, Michael Thorpe will take this one. He's still got a decent amount of ground to catch up. All right, now Gaston is leading the way, but not for long. Stephen Hayes just got around Bobby Mantle for P2. Stephen Hayes now tracking the 72, Jeremy, and it's not going to be a long track. He is there, and he is ready to pounce.
72 pretty loose right there off of turn 2. Just like that. Whataburger drive through. Order my burger, and I'm going to take it through the second window as he passes 72, looking at David Holsey now. Off of turn 4. Not for position again, just clearing through some lap traffic. Lap 98 currently now being displayed at 150, so 3 laps away from the 50 to go mark at race number 7 of 10 of the Global Racing League postseason.
Oh,
72 wicked loose once more. Hang on to it, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, he got wicked loose there trying to pull it down under the 76 of Holsey, and that truck did not like that at all. Had to hang on to it, roll out of the throttle, was able to keep it going, didn't lose too much momentum, still able to get around the 76 of Holsey, who is now your first truck 1 lap down, if that yellow flag would happen to rear its very bright face. But right now, another driver, Jeremy, that is tracking and tracking hard, that 34, Thorpe Jr. He has now caught the 89 of Bobby Mantle.
And super close, too. My God, I thought there was going to be contact between them two. Contact was found side by side, front straightaway here on lap 100 currently. And the 34 will clear the 89. In turn 1, checks up for the 76 on the top. It's going to widely separate the 89 and 34 this time. As Michael Thorpe now looks at Jonathan Gaston's back bumper to make this pass happen all the worth, while the 13, Stephen Hayes, 1.4 seconds is the gap last time by. This time, we'll see if he gains through this lap traffic sequence. He does. He gains 4/10, Dustin. 1.8 is the gap now between the 13 and the 34.
Yeah, 1.8, but now there is absolutely 0 trucks in between Stephen Hayes and Michael Thorpe Jr. So now we're going to see if Stephen Hayes can maintain a gap in between him and the 34, or whether or not Thorpe Jr. is going to be able to track down Stephen Hayes before what would be possibly one final green flag pit stop, Jeremy. And we've seen those pit stops. It's hurt a couple drivers. EJ Luna still trying to recover from that last green flag pit stop right now, slotted just outside the top 5 in P6. His next target is Dustin Franklin, and that's Franklin way up there out of turn 2 right now. So he still has a little ways to go before he even cracks the top 5 again, and he was running top 3 prior to that last green flag stint.
So here as we're looking at the 74, Dustin Franklin and coming off of turn number 4. He's P5 at the moment. 5.5 was the gap, now 6.1. Away from the race leader is Dustin. We're just now over that 50 laps to go mark. We're going to take our final picture-in-picture commercial break. And we're back to watch the final sequence of green flag pit stops and the checkered flag and see who's going to win tonight's race. We'll be back momentarily.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy jerky. The original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Lap 114 of the scheduled 150 laps as we're back full screen here from our final picture-in-picture commercial break of the evening. And this man, the 13, Stephen Hayes, started 10th place, Dustin, 10th. And he has found his way up to first. And not really looking back. After the first pit stops, he has been here, and he has not let it go. Michael Thorpe is tracking. You see it under 7 tenths, now 6 tenths. At the line this time by, but there's still one more pit stop to be had. And can the 34 catch and pass the 13 for the first time in what, 80 some laps?
Yeah, it has been a hot minute, and Jeremy, that last pit stop, if drivers have not been keeping track, it seems the ones that short pit it, even by, like 2, 3, 4 laps, typically are the ones that hold the lead the longest, and that's what you're going to want, especially because there's going to be a short amount of laps from the time the last pit stop happens until the checkered flag. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on who's going to be the ones that are coming down pit road at that point in time.
Yeah, so on the pit sequence, it's only 1 lap difference. Stephen Hayes pit on lap 88, Michael Thorpe 89. But for some reason, the 89 has found speed on this stint of the race right before pit stops. And he's got so much extra speed on this 13. But can he pass him? We know it's difficult to pass Chicago when you got the outside working well for you. And there he goes to the inside, gets a little loose on exit, has to check up, files back single file. This will be the difficult part to make this pass, unless the 13 comes down pit road this time or anytime soon. Well, he actually took the air off the nose of that truck, Dustin, and he shuffled the 34 back a couple tenths.
Yeah, and I mean, the 34 has got speed. That is, I mean, hands down, he's got some speed, but look how long it took him to track down the 13. He's not going to have that much time come the end of this race after the last pit stop. That's something he's got to keep in the back of his mind. So whatever happened on the last green flag pit stop, he's got to ensure that doesn't happen, because if he has that much gap in between him and the 13 again, he's not going to catch him unless the 13 makes a major mistake. You look at the amount of laps, Jeremy. I mean, it was, roughly about the last pit stop? We're right at 30 laps. It took the 34 of Thorpe Jr. 30 laps from the last pit stop in order to catch and now battle the 13. They're not going to have that come the final.
No, and I'm thinking too, guessing by how this race has played out so far, if one of these two drivers pits first, whoever pits first, I feel like will have the race nearly won. Let's see how well the 34 gets around the 13. If he can, he struggled now 3 laps at it. He gets tight that time, not going to be able to make it happen on the back straightaway. And this has proven to be very difficult to pass when you're equally performing. And I think if he gets the better advantage on pit road and stays as your race leader in that track position, 34.
Oh, they're both coming
down
in.
Pit road. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I saw the 13 slowing down. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it. I had no idea the Thorpe 34 truck was going to try even harder. And he just made a way too late of a call. Thorpe should have stayed with the plan. Oh, but 13, Stephen Hayes overslides the box there. He's going to equalize the time a little bit, but 34 should have a penalty coming.
Yeah, that was way outside of the box on that one there. And that is so tough when it comes to that 13 down and out. You see him leaving, but Jeremy, I'm like you. I think that 34 is he's going to be on there for at least a 40-second hold for unsafe pit entry.
Man, I feel like that was a last-second call. Maybe he didn't want to give up that difference in that one lap. And so he just tried too hard. He did a hell of a job, by the way. One hell of a job to slide that thing and not spin it out or take out the 13 with him or hit a wall. He did what he could, but just way too hot and heavy on pit road, and that'll cost the 34 his night any chance of a checker flag. And now it just seems like, unless there's a caution, Stephen Hayes will have this thing wrapped up and might be his first dub in quite some time. And here's the replay Coming down pit road, double slide, Blue Angel style, but the 34 does it a little too extra.
Yep. And that right there, the tire off for an extended period, I think is what got him. If it was just the cone, we've seen Stephen Hayes completely eat that cone, not get tagged by iRacing race stewards, but I think that rear tire dragging off on the infield grass like that is what got that unsafe pit entry.
Yep, that's exactly it. And we're going to cycle these trucks through. Abram Gostin takes the lead momentarily on the sequence of pit stops. Let's see what lap time or what lap he might come down pit road. He last pit on lap 80. Still leading this thing out here with 43 laps worth of time posted. Here we go. Looks like he's coming down pit road. A little tricky insurance. We talked about it too, how difficult it can be, Dustin, and they kind of proved your point right there.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you're trying to woe it down. They're going through these corners in 160 plus mile an hour. Pit road speed is 50 mile an hour here at Chicagoland, and it's not a straight shot. We talked about Talladega. It's not a straight shot all the way in. It is literally a curve the entire time. They're turning the whole time, going from track down to apron until they hit pit road. Well, you're doing that trying to slow down and going from track to apron in that transition, and you see how uncomfortable and unstable it gets these trucks.
Yeah, just a couple of more this sequence than it has prior, where they've not been comfortable coming down to their final pit stop under green flag conditions. And we are, 2 or 3 laps away, or 2 or 3 races in now. We're going to have a complete cycle from green flag to checker with no cautions. It seems to be at this point, this is exactly where this race is headed. After the miscues, and now every single driver has kind of spaced out. Let's load up the iRacing iFlag track map if you can. Minus 1 driver on the front straightaway. They're all just, remember, it's only 9 drivers on track, and they are spaced out all over this place.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what 125 laps around Chicagoland without a caution will do. 2, 3 rounds of green flag pit stop cycles happening. You're going to get spaced out, and it's tough, especially when a situation like what that Michael Thorpe Jr. was in, where it wasn't another driver or anything else. It was just a miscalculation on pit entry. And it's not, we've already talked about it, it's not easy coming down this pit road. And that's what cost you a solid run. I mean, he was up there battling for the lead. He had the speed and everything else. And now he's in a situation where he's the first truck 1 lap down. He needs a yellow flag in order to even get back in the running for this.
Good luck with that. Good luck with any caution coming out at this point in time, as they're just all single file, just logging laps at this point. 22 laps remaining in this mile and a half area called Chicagoland. Let's see, 5 seconds is the gap between first and second. 2.5 is the gap between second and third. Then you got a 2.5 to fourth. 4 seconds back to get to your 5th place. And then 10 seconds back after that to get to your final truck on lead lap 6. On the lead lap 3 that are 1 lap down, and 3 currently DNF. And that's your current standing situation throughout this field.
Yeah, again, stretched out, spaced out. As it sits right now, I mean, it's Stephen Hayes just has to race smart. Don't push it too hard. Anything else? We've seen Stephen Hayes. This is his first time back in a week or two. We haven't seen that 13 truck out there on the track. Glad to, see him back. And what a way to come back if he's able to seal the deal on this and come back after being off for a couple weeks and bring it to victory lane on your first week back.
Let's see if 13 can just log some laps and make it happen. No pressure all the way around him. 10th to first, obviously your biggest mover of the race. Michael Thorpe being 3 trucks back of that, being the lucky dog. His night's all but done on getting any chance of getting back on the lead lap himself. So All right, Dustin. This race is basically all but over until we see a caution or a wreck of some sorts. How are we feeling for Talladega? What do we think the number is of the drivers we can get? I'm just gonna guess that we're gonna crack 20 somehow. What do you think we got for next week?
I'm feeling 20. If there's any drivers that are watching this broadcast, whether it be live or on video on demand, and they hear this challenge, Nerd TV and the nerds are blasting you guys right now, putting you on call. Stop being lazy, get in and race, and let's have some fun. But I think 20 is an achievable number to crack. Should be doable at that point in time. And there's going to be a lot on the line. So we're talking about points. Bobby Mantle's currently in the top 5. Michael Thorpe going to be sitting in P9. This is going to be the second straight race, if it ends exactly how it's sitting right now, that Bobby Mantle finishes higher than Thorpe. That means he's cutting into that points lead that he has. It's going to put a little bit more pressure on those drivers come Talladega, especially at a wild card track where anything can happen. Could put them in some very sticky, very peculiar situations that may not pan out very well, Jeremy. So this playoff race with 3 races left after tonight is not over by any means. There's still, a couple wild cards, because I'll even throw Martinsville in there as a wild card, Jeremy. It's not a wild card as far as drafting or anything else, but when you sit here and throw drivers on a short paper clip, very tight radius, flat track, and braking and brake points and being on the heads up on stuff is paramount. You can sit here and have a very bad race. You could have a good race go very south very quick when it comes to Martinsville as well. So the next 2 weeks are going to be pivotal.
It's a good point. You mentioned that single digits will be the difference between first and second, and points after this is all said and done. It looks like, as Mantle's P5, Thorpe P9. That might be 10 or 11 difference. But then you go to Talladega. If we can get 20 drivers, yeah, that's just anything goes, right? And then Martinsville, you can kind of predict it, but then how many years in a row, Dustin, have we had a Martinsville race where the cautions exceeded one every 3 or 4 green flag laps? So that could just be entirely just one of those events, and then we would have no idea who's going to win the thing. So I would definitely consider that a wild card event, as well as we have 14 laps remaining here today.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the Martinsville ones is Abram Ghostin just pulled a Houdini right in front of your race leader. He's gone. No, he's back. There he is. But, this is over, the list of leagues that we have, done production for, done broadcast for. Martinsville is typically one of the hardest ones, Jeremy. And like you said, we've averaged, there's been a number of broadcasts, we've averaged like 1 out of a caution every, I would say 5 to 8 laps. There was a caution, 5 to 8 laps. There's, I think our record, not saying this league here, just our record in general from broadcasting Martinsville, I believe was over 30 cautions. So it's, but we've had some amazing Martinsville races where we've had single digit cautions. We're talking like 5, and that was it out of a 250 lap race. So it has gone both ways, and that's why I think you and I are both kind of chalking Martinsville up as a wild card as well, along with Talladega.
And then you just had the final race of the season. The only one that's not considered a wild card, that's Phoenix. 150 laps there for that track. For the final time Phoenix will host the season finale, hopefully ever, if not at least for the next few years. So that'd be cool to see Homestead back at it. Maybe some cycling of tracks. I know we've had that conversation, and maybe, just maybe, that'll be a thing with years to come, and how Homestead re-performs at hosting the final race of the year. Almost going to be 10 laps to go this time around. Good little battle with the 34, 89, and 74. Not really for position by any means, but this is a nice little 3-truck battle just for funsies. We're going to go 3 wide on the front straightaway.
Except for the 89 and 74. Those two are battling for P4, and that's an extra position that Bobby Mantle would have on the 34 of Thorpe Jr., as Bobby Mantle does get it. Dustin Franklin hard into the wall there through 1 and 2, but Mark Bobby Mantle up one more position now to P4, and actually it's going to balance out now because Michael Thorpe Jr. moved up from P9 to P8 as he passes David Holsey.
There you go. A couple of movements happen late in the going here. Still watching these three trucks have at it. Can the 89 keep the 74 at bay and try to maximize his lead over that guy right in front of him? The 34 of Michael Thorpe in the playoff hunt. First one come out on top. That moves Mansell to 4th, Franklin to 5th. At this time, looks like Dustin's not really ready yet to relinquish that position on track. Oh, Thorpe gets a little slowness off his truck. He's going to check out the 89 of Mansell just a touch. Brings Dustin Franklin back within 3 truck lengths. 8 laps to go.
Yeah, and Bobby Mantle can't hold up on checkups like that. He's got to go because he's battling Dustin Franklin behind him for position. Those are championship points positions. So he can't hold up or anything else. So if there's a slip up by the 34 where he slows up, the 89 has got to sit here and put his nose to the outside or inside respectively and try to make a run on it, because the more that he slows up is the closer the 74 comes in. And yes, Thorpe Sr. makes a very valid point. Don't schedule Talladega race at the same time a Cup race is on. If that's the case, he's sure that it would have a good turnout.
There is that factor. There is that factor, and it'll be tough.
Oh,
to get oh man, Thorpe off the wall, shuffled the 89 Mansell down to the inside. Really low entrance into turn 3. Dustin Franklin might be able to capitalize a little bit here as they're now side by side. 89-34 at the line, still holding the side by side, and Dustin Franklin surprisingly did not make up much ground on that.
Yeah, I think Dustin Franklin's tires are about gone now. We got 6 laps left. I think they're pretty well shot. But like I said, Bobby Mantle can't hold off. Michael Thorpe Jr. is still trying to chase down the 22 of Abram Ghostin, because that's another position that, softens the blow on the championship, hunt. The 89 of Mantle cannot let up, because if he gets passed by Dustin Franklin, that's losing championship points in the hunt. Contact between the 34 and 89 there as they go off into turn 1.
Things are getting hot and heavy for almost no reason right now between these two guys. They're just here having some fun before this thing's all closed out for the evening. It's 5 laps to go here, 4 to go whenever the leader does get to the line, which is right now 4 laps. What was that? 9 or 12 miles. Is it 12? No, 6 miles left in this race. I know how to math. Well, there we go. There's your guy doing it all. The 13, Stephen Hayes. 9 positions earned on track. He earned a lot from the first pit stop and a little incident with contact between the 64 truck and Danny White. Gave multiple spots to the 13 early. Oh, contact. Man, don't be pulling a number 99 Austin McGill on us in there, 13.
Right, and we can't, you can't count out and stop talking about this driver here, Jonathan Gaston. Solidly in P2, 3 laps to go. EJ Luna is tracking. He is right behind him there in the frame. You've seen him for a split second. But solid run for Jonathan Gaston. We talked to him in the Nerd TV podium last week. He made mention he doesn't get a lot of visits up to the podium. But I tell you what, he's been running solid in this playoff. Only driver to catch every race that Global had this season. And he's doing fantastic right now. EJ Luna, another solid run for him as well. Your top 3 podium. They fantastic stories all the way around, from Stephen Hayes coming back after being gone for a number of weeks. Jonathan Gaston on continuing a solid, consistent run right now on podium finishes, and EJ Luna same way as well. So right now they just gotta track it out. 2 laps to go. White flag as Stephen Hayes takes it this time.
Final lap here, 1.5 miles left. And Stephen Hayes is going to pick up a checkered flag here this evening. Keep the truck underneath you for just one more corner set, and it is yours for the final time into 3 and 4. Here comes Stephen Hayes. We're going to pick up his second checkered flag of the year. Congratulations, Stephen Hayes, winner at Chicagoland.
Yeah, excellent run there. Flag to flag, caution free. Green flag pit stops played a factor. I'm not to take anything away from Stephen Hayes. I would have loved to have seen the battle all the way to the end between Hayes and Thorpe Jr. because I feel it would have been a battle of epic proportions. But I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything here, besides a caution, obviously, and any major wrecks or anything else or a truck flipping. But I mean, it was fantastic run by Stephen Hayes, Jonathan Gaston, EJ Luna, and Dustin Franklin did get by Bobby Mantle in the closing laps to retake P4 over Bobby Mantle. So that is one position lost that could have been championship points gained.
Yeah, big shift in the playoffs here with that pit road mistake from the 34 to 13. Stephen Hayes burns it down. Here's your unofficial results for tonight's race 7 of 10 in the postseason for the Global Racing League Truck Series. Stephen Hayes, Jonathan Gaston, EJ Luna will be talking to us tonight in the booth. And you got Dustin Franklin and Bobby Mantle rounds out the top 5. 6 through 10, Don Blager, Abram Ghostin, Michael Thorpe Jr., David Holsey, Jeffrey Weimer, Chuck Cobb, Danny White, and that's it. There's everybody in the field. And we're going to see if we can't get our top 3 gathered up pretty quick. I do see the 72. He's already ready. Let's see. There's EJ. And here is Stephen Hayes. There he is. All right. Post-race time. We got our top 3 gathered up. Camera's going live. And we're going to bring in third place, the driver, the number 24, EJ Luna. EJ, congrats on P3.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. It was a hard-fought battle, man. Clawing our way back up there.
Yeah, for lack of driver count, the racing was phenomenal. And that first stint, though, excellent racing all the way through. Even the second stint, you had speed up on that very top lane. You had speed on the very bottom. You're kind of searching a little bit. Just walk us through your day.
Yeah, it was a pretty chill day. I was just trying to keep up with the leaders. That first pit stop, I nearly missed pit road, so I was kind of scared. But after we all cycled out, I was right back with them. And then that second pit stop came around, and I messed up, and I didn't have my tires and my fuel checked. So I just stopped in the pits, and it cost me probably like 6 seconds. So it was just an uphill battle from there. I'm really glad I got third place. Never fought so hard to get back to third. I'm proud of it.
Well, that explains the pit road difference. I thought you had a pretty decent stop there, but I guess that would do it. That'd make all the world of a difference, and somehow things recovered for you, and you took advantage of it and snuck out a P3, man. Now we're headed to Talladega here with the point situation. You're probably roughly 20 out of the points lead. How do you tackle Talladega next week?
Talladega, just keep our nose clean. Try not to put ourselves in a bad situation to make it to the end. And try to win the damn thing.
There it is. EJ Luna, 24, going for the championship at Talladega. Going to get that trophy, man. All right, cool. Congratulations, doing on a good, solid P3 tonight. Any shout-outs?
Yeah, thank you guys, Nerditudes, Dustin, Jeremy. You guys put on a hell of a show. Appreciate you putting these on for us. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Our team's Lone Star. Shout out to Dustin and Stephen Hayes with the win. My man, let's go. And thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
That's right. Orange Spoilers, P1, P3 tonight. We'll see you next week, sir.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
And P4.
And P4. That's true. Dustin Franklin.
3 out of the top 5. Lone Star.
Picking it up at Chicago. Look at that.
Yeah.
Not the orange spoiler. Second place here tonight. Jonathan Gaston. Driver the number 72 from Old Dogs. Man, what's going on? P2. Good run.
Thank you. Tired. Caution free.
Seems to be the continual theme here late in the going here as the numbers kind of fall a little bit. But the racing was still pretty good. Just talked to EJ Luna about it. What was your thoughts about tonight's race?
Yeah, I thought it was great racing, man. Side by side, 2-3 wide there at times. And man, I fought a loose race car the whole race,
Yeah, you
and
did.
the second to last run, man, I had it dialed in. And I was like, I got this thing in a bag. And then on that last run, oh my god, I was so tight. I was like, man, what in the world?
What happened on the first run or so, man? That truck, when it got loose, you were just hanging on for what, 20 plus laps, and your tires were probably screaming at you. So, what was the adjustment needed to get the truck much better than what it was?
Well, the first adjustment, I changed some air pressures, and that helped it a little. And then the second pit stop, I went to town on the springs there. I think that's what it is. And man, I really woke the truck up. Plus, at the beginning of the race, I was just flat footing it, and I was really over driving corner exit, and I think that was a cause of a lot of my looseness because by the end of the race, I wasn't quite pushing it as hard off the turns, so I might have adjusted it too much, and I should have just kept adjusting my driving style.
There you go. Things you can only learn mid race, not in practice. Congrats though on the solid P2 tonight. Many shout outs before I let you go.
Yeah, I want to shout out my son. Today was his 14th birthday, and I tell you, it amazes me. He was born with a very rare condition. It's called Christensen syndrome. He was number 11 in the world diagnosed with it. Only about 300 people have it. And I tell you, to see him in the photos we took today, you wouldn't know that there was a thing wrong with him. And I just thank God that we had such a great weekend, and we were blessed to have beautiful weather and taking him and enjoying things that he likes to do. I mean, life doesn't get much better than that.
Love the positive mentality, man. Excellent job again tonight, too. And by the way, points. You're only 20 points out, I think, between you and Michael Thorpe Jr. So good luck at Talladega. Maybe you can capitalize on something more.
Yeah, Dega, it's a lot about luck. So I'll find a lucky rabbit's foot between now and next Sunday, and have it right here beside me as I'm running.
There you go, dude. Go get them.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. That was Jonathan Gaston, driver the number 72.
Love that positivity, man. Love that positivity.
That's very good. Yeah. It's two ways you can go about it, and I love that route.
Right there.
Seeing the pictures and just in the moment, love to hear it. And now it's time to bring in the two-time winner, the Whataburger Chevrolet, Mr. Stephen Hayes. Congratulations on the checker flag here this evening.
Thank you, man. It's good to be back here again.
Yeah, your teammates, first, third, and fourth. Just fantastic stuff from the Orange Spoilers. You kind of adopted a few spots on that first stint with contact on Danny White, got wicked sideways. You think you passed 2 or 3 trucks that lap. And then the pit sequence put you out front, and then you just seemed to basically never look back. So where did that speed all come from, the pit stops and you making adjustments on it? Or
I'm gonna be
Let's walk
honest,
through there.
I didn't make any adjustments all night. I can't really tell you what happened, but when I had that pit stop, I guess I just was quicker on the pit stop. Just got ahead of Thorpe and everybody else, so I can kind of manage it from there. Try not to burn up my rears, because when you do that, then you just flying around the whole track. You can't do nothing. But every single run we had, right at the very end, Thorpe was just right there on my butt. I mean, like, just get away from me. But that's all it was just trying to pit before Thorpe, just saving enough to just stay ahead of him.
Speaking of pitting with Thorpe, that final green flag pit stop, you and 34 had a fun little dual slide action there. NDQ that 34 was going to be coming down pit road that time with you, and it looks like you kind of overdid it yourself. Were you kind of mirror driving as well?
So it was my plan to pit that lap. Like, for sure, I was pitting that lap. Problem was, Thorpe was on my butt, like nut to butt, like 2 inches between us. So I got scared to slow down.
I think we lost a little bit of audio there.
You got me?
There we go. Got you back.
Okay. It was just at that point where you either slow down or you keep going, and I just shifted straight into third, and I flew down. I think that kind of put Thorpe in a spot to make him slow down too, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was able to slow down. He kind of pushed it a little wide there, and spun out. I don't know if we had any contact or not. I didn't go back and check it, but I don't think I did anything to him. But
Nope, no contact whatsoever. We had
it
you
was
on
just
replay on it.
it was just a last minute, last second decision. I decided to go for it and worked out for me. I'm sorry for Thorpe that he spun out, but I was happy.
Yeah, man, gave you a nice little Sunday cruise, literally, to close out this race with a 3-second lead over Jonathan Gaston there. All right, man, go get him. It's Talladega next week. Good luck there. Any shout outs tonight before we let you go?
I want to give a shout to the Lone Star boys. Right now it's just me, EJ, and Dustin, but those two boys, they put a lot of work into this, and I'm sure you can see they can get top fives usually every single week, and it's been kind of impressive and fun to run with them, and just overall good experience, and glad to have them on the team, and hope one of them can get a win soon. And you know, I come in here after missing 10 races and win one. I just gotta show these boys how to do it sometimes, you know. Other than that, I think I got my girl Kim up in the stands watching, so just want to say hello to Kim. I love you. I won one for you. This one was for you. And thank you boys up in the broadcast. I love being able to watch this and show with friends and family, and everybody else gets to experience this and have fun too.
Yeah, man, enjoy it. Second win of the season. Congrats on that. We'll catch you next week at Talladega.
Let's do it.
Let's
there it
do it,
is.
he says. Let's do it.
That's the best way to look at Talladega. You can be scared, or you can just head on with it, and that's exactly what these drivers sound like they're going to do.
Oh, you know
No
me.
holding back at Talladega.
You know me, Jeremy. It don't matter what it is. I ain't scared going into Talladega. The second you go into that race scared is the second that you are not going to succeed at that race. You've got to be able to put it on the line. No matter what's on the line, you've got to be able to lay it out there, and that's what these drivers are going to have to do.
And that's just not talk, man. That is not talk. You've done the multiple years. I've done the multiple years in a super speedway series, and you learn that from experience. And once you start relaxing, things just don't play out your way. So that's what they're going to do. 3 races before the season finale. It's Talladega. And appreciate y'all joining in for this one. This was a very fun Chicagoland. Glad to see it back on the actual schedule next season. And you guys, stay safe. Get your nerd on. Dustin, what you got for him?
And as always, it's not goodbye. It's just till next time. Stay nerdy.
Back when nothing truly mattered